Thank you very much, everybody. Okay, so we actually have a few questions that were sent in before the webinar, so we're going to go through those, and then we will try and get through as many other questions from the audience as possible. Let's see how we go. Okay, so first off, we had a question about social value. The question is, how is social value measured, scored and tracked in public procurement?
I'll take that. I mean, it will vary from contract to contract. You know, there's no one right or wrong answer when it comes to social value and inclusion. You need to check the documentation, see what it says about it. Is it clear about how it's going to be scored? Do you need a specific policy around it? And if at any time you're unsure, not just about social value, but about anything that's laid out in contract documentation, just ask a clarification question. Particularly within the public sector, they're legally obliged to provide you with an answer.
Thank you. Barry, did you want to add your...
Well, I would just say it's worthwhile having a community and social responsibility policy, because you will need that signing up to a lot of these frameworks. And I'm seeing more and more questions just at the tail end of tenders. So we have one of those, and we've specific procedures around the likes of sponsorship, taking on internships, giving talks to school and within university, charity events like sponsoring marathons, and we run hackathon sort of code within our offices and bring the outside community in. You know, all of these things, just they're non-commercial activities. They're all good for the company, but they show that, you know, they give a sort of wholesome, warm feeling about the company. So it's definitely worth having that policy, because you will need that. And it's one of those things when you're responding to tenders, you need so much stuff, and you want to have as little writing from scratch as possible. But that builds obviously as you go along.
Great, thank you. Okay, and a few comments on how difficult and time consuming it is to sell into the public sector, and ultimately as an SME, is it worth it? Should I do it?
If you start, Jenny, and I'll just add at the end.
Sorry, was Barry going to say something? Or should I...
Well, yeah, well, look, stop me if I say too much. Is it worth it? Absolutely. 2015, we didn't know anything about this. The company was just bubbling along, ticking along, and winning some tenders, winning not. All of a sudden, just a light come on at how to sell. And it's not just the old salesman out this and that, it's how to transact, and the roadmap and the process and all of that. And there's no doubt it's time consuming. It's hugely time consuming, but your business is time consuming. All our businesses are time consuming. So in terms of growth, it's a fantastic strategy, and we're only putting more time into this. And I see it as everybody's responsibility within the company. Like I lead on it, and I spend a lot of time on it, but I get everybody in the company involved in it, and I give people things to write and make sure people know about these policies and know what we're being asked. So for me, absolutely.
I would add to that, it's an incredible way to build and grow your understanding of the sales process. In the commercial world, you'll just get told, "No, you're too expensive, we're going with somebody else." In the public sector, they're legally obliged to give you full feedback on your entire tender, whether you've won or not. Often that feedback on losing is invaluable, but equally, if you've won it, make sure you fully understand why you've won it. You know, was it because of your social values charter? Was it because you're a local SME? You know, what was the clincher as far as the buyer was concerned as to why it was awarded to you? Also, from an SME perspective, you may say, oh, you know, looking at for example, a utilities company like water, Thames Water have just gone through their asset management plan round 7. You say, I'm never going to get onto that. Well, that's right, maybe you aren't. But what you will find out by monitoring these websites and understanding who's winning what, you know, you would know that Costain, MWH, Mark McDonald, Kier, Guan Agua, Galford Try and Bar Hale were on that framework. So if you've got something that's innovative and works well for Northern Irish Water, go and speak to those 6 or 7 companies and say, hey, we've got this. Do you think Thames Water would be interested in it? Because 9 times out of 10, if they can deliver innovation to the client, that ensures them getting on to the next round of the asset management plan, which is hugely lucrative for them.
Thank you. Now that sort of moves nicely on to the next question, which I think actually Charles may have answered mostly already in the presentation, but the question is, I'm not sure I would necessarily supply directly into public sector contracts, so I might be more, how can I use these sources to access tier 2 or tier 3 companies?
Yeah, I mean the actual so some of the tendering systems will highlight what the public organisations themselves are buying, and most of the time they'll tell you how much they've spent, how many contracts they've awarded. They'll do that over periods of a year, 2 years, 3 years. So there's all this valuable information available. Now I've got previous experience in bus manufacturing world for a well-known company in Northern Ireland. And a classic example is most of the time on a public tendering framework, they will tender bus routes. You know, the local authority will be tendering a bus route. Now, you know, as a bus manufacturer, you won't be tendering directly for that business. You know, but as kind of in market intelligence, knowing that that route is coming up in 6 months' time, you can approach the actual bus operator, and that would be the tier 1 supplier, to say, you know, you need buses in 6 months' time. You obviously need to prepare a bid. Can we give you some pricing and specification? So it's not just about who you are directly tendering to as a public authority, as an SME or even a medium-sized business. You know, you would be looking as a level 2 supplier to be part of a subcontract within that bigger contract in the framework.
Okay, great, thank you. Now we actually only have 1 minute left, and we've had a few comments from the audience that there are a few areas that we don't cover, but that's obviously, this was a very high level overview. So I think one of the comments was the public procurement review service. True, that is a service that is available for suppliers who may have issues with tenders, and it's a public service, and you can use that to raise problems with the procurement process or payments, etc. And another comment from Michael is that sometimes couriers can allow anonymized reference numbers on their package labels if you ask them. So thank you for those comments, and yes, appreciate we didn't cover everything. Now as we're at 11 o'clock, maybe we'll go 1 minute over, and everybody just sort of give a one or 2 points of top tips. Pick your top tip. Sorry to put you all on the spot. Top tip for SME. You can pass. I've just sprung this on you.
I would say, you know, don't be afraid of the public sector as an SME. It's a much more level playing field than people think. They have to be transparent. They have to provide feedback. They have to go out for low-level tenders. And if you know where to look, there's little bits and pieces out there that the big boys just really aren't interested in. Come to us, use us as a service, and use, I mean, between us on just the Invest NI panel on this webinar, we've got probably 25-30 years worth of experience combined with public sector contracting. So do come and use us as a resource.
And can I just say that quite a lot of people on the service actually use us not to go for tenders themselves, but to find out who wins them, so that then they can go after those companies to get business off them. So just.
And I would just say, don't get disheartened. And I would just back up next point from earlier on. There's a feedback mechanism. When you don't win, and you'll win less than you'll not win, go back and ask why, and understand, is that the right framework you're in? Did I answer those questions right? Was I punched up above my weight? Should I partner with somebody while going into that organization? And equally, when you win something, after the clap on the back is over, you need to go back. Why specifically us? Where did you find us? Who did you look at? And from a point of view, we always release a little news story on our social media afterward, Now that's great news because other people can identify, but the main point is to draw out of the client exactly why they bought and why they saw your value was better. So I think that is a really good point, Nick.
Yeah, I think I would only say I was talking to a major supplier to the MOD only last week actually, and they, I think they say 80 odd% of their supply base is SME, small and medium sized businesses. And I think just to build on what we were saying before about, you know, don't be afraid of tendering to these people. They will help you to a certain extent. But, you know, once you've gone through the pain of doing it once and you've got a template, and like I said, you've got your documentation up to date, it's a lot easier after that.
Great,
Yeah,
thank you.
Adding to that is just understand your rights overall.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you to the audience. So we're 11:03, only 3 minutes over. So we'll just wrap up there. Our contact details are in the slide here. And thank you all for your time. As mentioned, please reach out to us. We'd love to talk you through what kind of frameworks, etc., might be suitable for you. And everybody have a good day. Thanks all.
Thank you.